The Joker and the Batman. Two rivals endlessly circling each other like Adam Blompier and I arguing over who gets to kiss Peter Austin on the mouth first. Side note, me. Their ongoing discourse of guns, knives and bat-shaped foreign objects has often spilled over and caught many innocents in the crossfire. Great fun for the Joker, but not so much for old Grumpy Chin. The fact that the Joker pretty much lives for the moments which infuriates the Batman means that he's gone to some pretty extreme lengths in order to get a rise out of him. And by rise, I mean that he really wants to just antagonise Juicy Bruce into murdering his ass. With this in mind, I'm Jules from WhatCulture.com here with a list of the 10 worst things the Joker has ever done to Batman. Number 10. The brainwashing of Tim Drake. During the events of Batman Beyond's Return of the Joker, we get a flashback to the final encounter between Batman and the giggling goof. Yet there's something different about this battle. Oh, maybe it's because Tim Drake, aka Robin, has been brainwashed and is now a mini version of the Joker. Batman is forced to watch how the Joker tortured Tim relentlessly until he broke the poor boy's psyche. This is an especially cruel act, seeing as Tim is so young and plays into Batman's greatest fear of losing one of the people he deems as family. Luckily, Tim broke free from the mind control and quite brutally murders the Joker. But unluckily, Tim takes up the mantle of the Joker himself as the mental scarring he suffered haunted him throughout his life. Number 9. Shooting Babs and kidnapping Jim Gordon. 1988's The Killing Joke revolved around the Joker's attempts to drive Commissioner Gordon insane, in order to prove that one bad day can make even the most stable and controlled men go mad. The way in which he does this is to shoot his daughter Barbara, aka Batgirl, and then he kidnaps him, stripping him naked and locking him in a cage of a circus freak show and making him view pictures of his injured and naked daughter. Obviously, it goes without saying that these events were far more traumatic for the Gordons than they were to Batman, but the fact that these two people were so dear to the Dark Knight obviously traumatized him. Batman, of course, saved the day and rescued the pair, but Barbara was left crippled and in a wheelchair, which would have obviously plagued the Dark Knight with guilt for years to come. Number 8. Kidnapping Alfred and the Bat Family. Alfred Pennyworth, Bruce Wayne's long-serving butler at Wayne Manor, and since the death of Bruce's parents, he's served as a sort of father and mother rolled into one figure. So imagine the emotion upon learning that the villainous and depraved Joker had kidnapped him. In Death of the Family, that's exactly what happened, as Wayne returned home to discover that his butler and parental figure just wasn't there. Batman is captured, and then Joker informs him that the place he's in is coated with gasoline and flints are being placed under Batman's chair, so if he moves, the entire area would be set alight. Then the Joker summons a brainwashed Alfred, who he then prompts to serve the Bat Family their own severed faces for dinner, which turns out to be a trick, but still, that's pretty damn sick. Number 7. Slashing Lorna's stomach. The Bat Confidential series had an arc called Lovers and Madmen, in which Bruce Wayne met museum curator Lorna Shaw. She became the first person to make him actually happy since his parents were murdered. But because this was only 2 years into Batman's career, he was yet to make any of his famous enemies and was unaware of their threat. A man named Jack, who would later become the Joker, decided that he wanted to draw out the Batman, so he kidnapped Lorna and slashed her stomach, leaving her in critical condition. She eventually recovered, but both her and Batman decided that it was far too dangerous for her to stay in Gotham and be around the Dark Knight, so she decided to leave the city and end their relationship. Number 6. Beating and killing Jason Todd. In 1988, Jason Todd, the second Robin, was involved in an arc where he searched for his birth mother. When Jason found her whereabouts, he sought to be reunited, but unfortunately, the Joker too caught wind of her presence. What's more, he also found out that she'd been blacklisted from the medical community after performing illegal abortions, one of which went wrong. Using this knowledge to blackmail her, Joker began to orchestrate a plan to draw Todd and his mother together and trap them. The plan succeeded, and after beating Todd to a pulp with a crowbar, he tied Robin up alongside his mother and left them in a warehouse with a time bomb. You can imagine what happened next. No, not a sexy pillow fight, you weirdo. Batman arrived on the scene too late and found his ward dead and his mother mortally wounded. And the impact of this led the Bat on a dark path for months to come. Number 5. Breaking his own spine just to spite the Bat. Frank Miller's classic Bat tale sees an aged, grumpy Batman come out of retirement to do battle with the decade's new freaks and geeks. No sooner had he learned of Batman's re-emergence, the Joker then concocts a plan. Playing at sanity, he worms his way onto a trendy TV talk show, whereupon he promptly murders everyone present and makes his swift escape. Batman chases the Joker to a funfair, because of course it's a funfair, where the two mortal enemies take a fateful and fatal sojourn down the Tunnel of Love. A brutal fight ensues, with Batman getting a blade between the ribs and Joker taking a batarang to the eyeball. Batman, however, still can't be made to break his one rule, forcing Joker to take matters into his own hands. Stubbornly, he manages to snap his own spine, laughing like a maniac the entire time. It's a hard moment for the Dark Knight as he stands surrounded by the bodies of those the Joker just murdered, making the whole affair kind of empty and pointless. Number 4. Killing Rachel Dawes. Rachel Dawes was an original character created by Christopher Nolan as a childhood friend and eventual love interest of Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne. In the 2008 movie The Dark Knight, the Joker took both Rachel and the pre-Two-Face Harvey Dent to different locations, both of which were rigged with explosives that were set to go off at the same time. Then he made Batman choose which one of them to save. The Dark Knight chose to save Rachel, but the Joker had given him the opposite addresses to where each person was being held, and as a result he only arrived in time to save Harvey. Rachel then died in the explosion before Batman could get to her, taking the rivalry with the Joker to new extreme heights. Number 3. Killing his parents. Another movie murder here. In Tim Burton's 1989 Batman movie, the Joker is directly responsible for Batman's existence, as it was he, in his Jack Napier persona, who killed Bruce Wayne's parents in that dank alley all those years ago. After a night at the theatre, Bruce and his parents were confronted by two mobsters, one of them being Jack, who robbed his mother before shooting both his parents. Batman came to realise that Jack and the Joker were linked when the smiling madman utters the phrase, "Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?" The exact question that Jack asked young Bruce after offing his parents. It's a brutal act of murder, and this connection only serves to get under the extremely thick latex of this permed powerhouse. Number 2. Torturing and killing Batman every day. Emperor Joker was a storyline that saw the Joker stealing the unlimited reality-warping abilities of the fifth dimension imp known as Mr. Mxyzptlk. As a result, the deranged villain essentially ended up with the power of a god and renamed himself Emperor Joker. And just for kicks, he proceeded to remake the entire universe into a twisted caricature that reflected his own warped personality. His obsession with Batman would be highlighted by the fact that despite having the ability to do anything with such godlike power, he focused a lot of his daily routine torturing the Bat to death, then resurrecting him the next morning only to go through the motions again. Very, very nasty. And number 1, he made Batman laugh. Now, on paper, this might seem like the least heinous thing the Joker has done to Batman, but it's what this act represents. At the end of killing Joker after a long-fought and grueling battle, the two adversaries square off outside a funhouse, because of course it's a funhouse. Batman, as per the norm, tries to reach out to the grease-painted goon, and as is expected, Joker refuses, although a lot more politely than in some past iterations. Now comes the strange moment. Joker begins to tell a joke. Well, maybe that's not the strange moment, but Batman's reaction is. After the punchline, Batman actually laughs. The stone gargoyle of Gotham actually laughing is a weird moment, but it highlights what's actually going on. This was Joker's last chance at redemption, and the laughter they share is Batman accepting this fact. Now, whether you believe he kills Joker or not is up for debate either way, but this moment is the closest we've ever come to seeing the Bat being broken, as it shows a fundamental shift like never before in his one rule, and that's the worst thing the Joker could ever do. And that's our list. Got any times that the Clown Prince of Crime got one over on the Cape Crusader? Well, let us know about them in the comments section below. And if you fancy a real laugh, then come follow me on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0. If you enjoyed the video, then like, share, and subscribe for more. As always, I've been Jules for WhatCulture.com, and I'll speak to you soon.